Gossip Talk Shows family, it's Nomsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice led from within. With me today is Nick Motichka and Amanda Murray. How are you guys? You're all muted.
Good, we're ready for today.
Ready for today. So our topic today is, are you ready to defile all the odds to succeed? So what do you think about the topic, Nick?
Yeah, for me, I'm a big old heck yeah, I am. Yeah, it's a topic that I really I like this one a lot because that's basically where I'm at in my life, is just going for it and ready to defy those odds that are, seemingly stacked up against us, which may be something that we make up in our own head. But regardless, that's definitely the way it feels. So I'm excited to chat about this and to share, my own thoughts and hear your guys' about it.
Not afraid to take to go for your goals.
No,
awesome.
not at this point.
Awesome. What about you, Amanda?
I think that when we stand up against odds, we're really like having this internal battle with ourselves where we're like telling ourselves like, no, I can't because of this and this and this and this and this. And these are the things that are holding us back. But if we shift our mindset to like, what if I could? And what if I actually can? Then we're putting the odds towards us, right? Because we're just flipping that wording a little bit to make it more like this is achievable. And when you do think something's achievable, even though it may be hard, you're more likely to work towards it. And also, what is it that is the odd is against you? Like, is it something that you actually truly want and is truly going to make the world a better place? And if it's that, then you're going to keep working towards doing it and have the motivation to do it. And so you really need to think about what odds is it that you're stacked up against, and is it something that's truly worthwhile to put your time into? Because if it is, and it's a truly big goal that you want to achieve, then no matter what odds are stacked up against you, if you change your mindset and you attract the people into your life that are going to help you get there, then you'll be amazed at how quickly things shift for you and how things seem to come into your life when you least expect it at just the right time. And so much of this odds stacked against us, I think, is sometimes our mindset. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Actually agree with you, Amanda. Our mindset plays a very, very important part in our lives in order for us to achieve the impossible and actually overcome every challenges that are in our lives. Our mindset has to be in the right place, and also we have to understand the game of life. What does it mean to play the game of life? A game of life, it means that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So as a human being, you have to have a big why in order for you to actually climb that mountain and overcome all the odds that are put in front of you. It's like Nick, when I talked to him, like he came on just now, and I'm like, how is the business? Is like, I'm ready. I'm in that place where I'm taking big responsibilities. I'm taking big steps. So I'm like, oh, I remember those times, those days where you just close your eyes and make big decisions, because sometimes we say this is who we want to become, but then we get scared to take steps and take action and just go for what we want. There's this voice, inner voice, that says, I don't think you can do this. So sometimes you just have to go for it. And some people like to talk. One day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do this. And for me, I like to do things. I like to take action. I like to overcome whatever problems you bring in my way. I'm ready as long as long I know that I can find someone that can help me with whatever odds that I'm facing. And also you have to find the courage to seek help as well, because we can't do everything. Some people like to think that they have to know everything, they have to do everything. Unfortunately, we can't. When it comes to even like when you're working for somebody or you want to be promoted to go higher, you still need some advice. You still need a coach. When you have a coach or the company provide coaches, you have to use that coach, make sure you benefit from that so you can go up and help people properly. So I'm with you on this one, Nick and Amanda. I'm actually ready as well to actually defy all the odds in order for me to succeed. So over to you, Nick.
Yeah. I have, when Amanda was talking, I got what I like to call like the truth bumps, like the little chill or the energy that runs through you. And it's that sentiment of, yeah, why not me? Or why doesn't it work out? Rather than all those negative thoughts that we have and then we start believing, it's to flip that and be like, okay, but why not me? Why not now? Why can't this work out? So I have a quote above my desk, and it says, well, I have a couple, but and it's, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And then to embrace that, the feeling that comes when you hear that, and to think about what you would do in that moment, and then take steps in the real world to make that happen in your life. And that it just has such a, I find that saying has such a great feeling to it, because it takes out all that fear. It just puts that all to the side, and you just can focus on what you actually want in your life, and not have that nagging thing that's always speaking in our ear. It just drops for a second, and you can kind of get clear and focus on what you actually want in your life. And then the biggest thing is then to know what that is, and then to take steps. Just, it doesn't have to be a big step, doesn't have to be anything crazy, just to, get clear and figure out what the first small little thing is that you could do. I remember back to when Flow State, so my clothing business was exactly that, just an idea in my head. And I figured out, okay, the first thing that I could do is to buy the domain for that. And so at that moment, when I pushed the buy button for that domain name, and it was a small amount of money, but that to me was a huge sign to the universe and to myself that, okay, we're doing this, we're spending real money on this thing, and moving it forward in the world. And so I've just approached basically my journey in entrepreneurship just like that, is just one small step at a time. And for me, it's, ironically or not, it's been staying in that flow. So if I'm feeling a lot of resistance to something, or something doesn't feel right, I just kind of put a pause on things and take a step back, and then get clear on whether that's just fear or worry, or if it's resistance. Like I'm feeling resistance from whoever it is. Let's say it's a situation where I am looking to work with someone, whether it's whatever it is, photography or manufacturing or whatever, and I'm feeling some resistance there. It's to, okay, this is my intuition or the universe is trying to tell me something here, and to back off, and then just allow things to happen. And then it feels kind of, for me, it at times feels kind of like I'm ignoring my responsibility at some points. But I've found now through experience that some time will pass, and then all of a sudden the right thing will come in, that right photographer, that right manufacturer, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's why I was feeling so much resistance, because I wasn't supposed to be working with that person. And so I have a little kind of thing I say to myself, and it's if it doesn't flow, it doesn't grow. So I just let those things work themselves out, and then it's a feeling for me. So I just, when I feel that, okay, things are flowing in this direction, then I just let it happen. And basically then the work is just to get out of my own way, because a lot of times, again, that nagging thing, like you get through one decision and you're like, okay, I'm good, and then you get up to the next thing, and then that little guy or girl is still there, and it's like, oh, you're still there, are you? Okay, now we got to move through this next step. And then it's the biggest thing for me at this point is you can either have fear or regret. So you can have that fear and then push through it and grow and make those moves, or regret that you didn't go for it and you didn't go all in, and then you'll never know what could have been. And I needed to, in my life, for things to get the comfort and the known to get, so I was just over it. It wasn't working for me. So my previous life, my previous career in policing, which was my entire adult life, it just wasn't what I was meant to do. It wasn't flowing for me for decades. And so I finally got the message and got out of my own way and just had to push through that fear. And I'm in a place now where I know that whatever happens, I will never look back with any regret, thinking, oh, I wonder what could have been, or what could I have accomplished, or whatever, because I'm just all in, going for it and shooting my shot, and basically going with that flow, and we will see what happens. But it's exciting and scary very much at the same time. And Nomsa mentioned it, we were chatting before we went live, and I'm at that point where you need to, in order for things to change, you have to change something in what you're doing. And that's exactly where I'm at. Is so done a small production run, tested, things are looking good, but now it's time. Okay, I've exhausted my my warm market, let's say. So yeah, friends and family and the small amount of social media I've been able to organically grow up to this point. It's been great, but that's not building a business on that market. And so now it's time to move this out into the bigger world, into the ocean of as it were, and shoot my shot. So that's exactly where I'm at. So that's this topic is really timely for me, for sure. And I see Amanda and you, Nomsa, all the moves you guys are making to build your businesses, and it's just really inspiring to see other people doing the same thing. And that's where I'm at. So Amanda, what do you think?
I love your story and how I'm watching you grow as we talk, in the different, you work on something for a bit and it's flowing, and then it's almost okay, that momentum stops, and then it's you have to make a change, right? And so the same thing in this has happened in my world too, where I've published a bunch of books, but I'm not getting anywhere because I don't know how to market. And so that, for me, that defying the odds is now who am I going to attract into my life to help me learn how to market? So I just finished taking a course on building your brand and marketing and learning how to build online courses. But then, and then now that I've finished like that course and it's like coming to an end, I've like, there's been this one that's like kind of like been there for like the last like 6 years of me, like of my book production like career, where I'll like take this free 5-day Amazon ad challenge, and then I'll like leave it and I'll like get into the ads for a bit and I'll like learn how to do it, and then I like throw it off to the side and I like get busy doing something else. And so just on Monday, it's so funny because I just finished the like 5-day free ad thing, and I was like, I really should take this course. Like it's a 6-month course. It's not super expensive. And as a single mom, I'm like, oh, like that extra $250 a month, or almost 300 because it's American, is like going to make things tight. But at the same time, like if I want to grow, then I have to get out of my comfort zone. And so I like, there was like a 25% off discount or whatever. And like, it was counting down the days, and I took my daughter skating, and then I came home and I had a little note to like pay my one friend for like these essential oils that she bought me, and then like to sign up for the course. And I literally got on my computer and there was 7 minutes left to sign up for the course before the discount ended. And I was like, I don't even know if they do it again until like 6 months later when they do another free ad. So I was like, oh my goodness, like I couldn't even think about it. I just was like, I need to sign up for this course as fast as I can. And so I signed up for the course, and I'm like, okay, like now I'm like focused again, and I've got this like, because I was comfortable for a while, right? And like, I know how to publish, I know how to do this, I know how to do this, I know how to like, but I don't know how to get myself to the next level. And so sometimes you need to like search, or even like just see what comes to you, because that person will help you get to the next level. And I think that's the spot that I've been kind of like avoiding for a number of years, because I've done the online challenge so many times, and yet this time is my time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out of my own way, and I'm going to really truly learn this. And so sometimes I think too, whereas you said like it has to like flow and flow and flow, but then sometimes we're the ones that are getting in our own way. And I wish I would have taken this course the first time that I had like had taken the free ad challenge, but that too was maybe just not the right time, or also that I didn't have the like expertise that I have now in like learning how to design and everything. I didn't think that my stuff was at that level yet. And now I'm feeling more like this could actually be the growth that I truly need. And so I think sometimes when we stand up against our odds, it's also getting out of our own way at the right time. And if you keep like avoiding something, then it's just going to take longer for you to get there. And that's probably what I just did for a number of years. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Amanda, when you say sometimes we actually we stand in our own way. That is actually 100% true. We are responsible to take our lives to the next level where we want to go. And I like Nick's idea as well, where he says when things get tough, he will just regroup and come with a system that can take him where he needs to go, and go for big things. I like that. And I think that is part of life, where you have to focus on your goals, what you want to achieve in life. Like Amanda, you're saying, as a writer, you want to go to the next level. So that's why I've been thinking myself as well. It's like we're all been linked into one universe or whatever, I don't know. So I've just been thinking the same, that I really don't like the way my life is when it comes to my business. I want to do the extraordinary. So I've been thinking, so I had to join Kadoni's sales training, because I need to know how to sell. And everything that we do in life, we are selling. Even here at Ngozi Talk Shows, when you speak, you're selling. How you walk, you speak to somebody, they look at your body language. Do you believe the message that you believe you're saying? So you're selling. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to work in the sales department but I like it when I'm doing something. I like to learn it as well. So I can actually look at the things and know what I'm talking about when I'm asking people to actually do the work. So I'm like, I don't like I don't like where my life is. If I want my life to be where I need it to be, I need to take action. So I had to sit down. Where do I go from here? So I was like, okay, I'm just like get in touch with companies and see if there's anyone that can actually help me to actually. I like Kadoni. He speaks the truth as well. And yesterday I was watching him. He says you can go and buy a 1,000 suit or 1,000 high heels, whatever you buy, and wear, look really expensive. But if you don't know the message you're talking about, and you don't know how to actually sell your products and don't know how to move forward, your company move forward and do the extraordinary, if you just know how to show, then whatever you're wearing is, you'll be wasting your time. And it was like, spend time. Yes, you look presentable, but spend time in knowing you, learning your message, and spend time like Amanda. You are now like, I'm a writer. I've written 8 books. You want to go to the next level. You want to be one of the top, and you want to be known for helping people. You want to know what is happening in the writing world, which is a good thing. I was like, yes, I want to know, like myself. I was like, I want my company to go to the next level. I want people, when they come and look for Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, to be doing things that are different from my competitors. Because if you have to do something and help people, you have to do the extraordinary. You have to be different. And people need to know, if they're going to spend money, is this person going to help me? So that's what I'm learning, actually. I'm learning to communicate with my clients, and I'm learning to actually, like when people say, introduce yourself, and I went to Zoom, and this guy is like, so it was like, what do you do? The company, what do you do? Actually, I think I changed my script 20 times now, and I'm explaining to them. He goes, seriously, tell me in one word what you do. Who do you serve? You're telling me that you're serving this. It's a life story. I don't have time for life story. So tell me in one word, who do you serve? And I was like, okay, I think I need to go and work on that one. So he was like, no, you don't need to hear. Here's the word. Just take it and go. So it's like, for me, when I introduce myself, Nomsa, this is what I do for work, and this is what. So I need to work on the script for introducing Gossip talk shows. And it's like, introduce the talk shows. And I'm like, Nomsa here, Gossip talk show. It's like, rah. I was like, okay. So I know that I need to change. Things needs to change. So things are going to change. And I'm ready for a change. And I'm ready to actually climb the mountain. We've been climbing the mountains at Ngozi talk shows for a very, very long time. And it's not easy to actually get the audience to subscribe to the channel. But we've been there and climbing all the odds, defiling every odds, and we just there. And I know sometimes now the fear that I have is, I did have this fear that we just all gonna wake up one day and things will change. Me, I've worked on that fear. Will I be able to actually accept the success? Yes, but are you guys ready for that? So those are the things, the odds that it's nice to say to people, I like my life to be here in 6 months. But when that dream, it comes to reality, and then you start questioning, like, do I deserve it? But I think we do. For me, 100%, I think we do. We have climbed all the odds. So I agree with you guys. And yeah, fear comes and we climb it. We climb it regardless of any situation.
Yeah, I love that story you told, Amanda, about that course you just signed up for and how you felt that resistance and then but discovered and realized that it was yourself holding yourself back, and then to push through that. And it's like you can't make this stuff up, like the timing of it and the going on sale and then you being at your computer 7 minutes before the sale closes, like those are the moments where okay, you got to get out of your own way and just make moves and push forward. And that's I love that stuff. And that's when, I think, like, that's flow in my mind. Like, even though you felt that resistance and you were struggling with that, it's all of a sudden it's that those circumstances all lined up to allow that to happen, and you made it happen. So good job. It's not easy, for sure. It's not. I know exactly how that feels, but once then you've committed and shown that faith and that you're listening and that you actually want to change. You're not just saying the things, you're actually doing what you're talking about. That's when the magic happens, and that's things, people are brought into your life. You guys were talking about that as well, like the circumstances, the people, everything just sort of comes in once you've got out of that your own way and start allowing good things to come in. And then I just wanted to mention about, or just talk about, I guess, where that fear and all that comes from, I think, too. And it has a lot to do with, well, our childhoods, the programming we receive from our parents, and a lot of it's subconscious because they're programmed too, right, by society at large. And all of our systems are set up to keep us in kind of a box, as it were, to not push too hard against the systems, to not do anything too extravagant out in the world, to just basically be a good employee and to do what we're told. And that, for me, just isn't doing it anymore. I don't want to be the good employee. I don't want to be the good citizen. And don't get me wrong, I'm still a good citizen, but like I'm going to question things, and I'm not going to just take what you've told me forever to be the truth as the truth, because I think what the last few years have done more than anything, have really shone a light on how a lot of those things that we've been told are wrong and have been corrupted by people in positions that are not out for our good, as us as the working class, the middle class, basically. It's none of it set up to benefit us at all. And if we stay within that system, we're going to be in it, and we're going to be limited to our whatever job it is that we've found, and we just do our thing and work towards retirement. And I did that for my entire working life. And I had a moment a few years ago where it was, so in policing, so working for the government, there's a pension at the end. And so that was like the carrot at the end of the stick. And then I had this moment of realization where it was like, okay, so I'm working my entire life, basically struggling, because, and the way I was living, like definitely in Canada, I'm sure it's a lot the same in the UK, but where we spend what we make, right? Like you get a raise, and it's like, okay, you get a little bit newer car or a bigger place or fancier clothes or whatever it is, and you never get ahead. Your bills increase, and then you're left with very little at the end of the month. And so that was the dream, right? To have this job with this pension at the end. And so I was finding I was struggling to make ends meet, basically, because I'd filled it with all this unnecessary stuff, my life with unnecessary things, and all those external, cars and all the stuff that I thought was going to make me happy, but truly never, ever, ever will. Doing all that. And then to think, okay, so I'm struggling now making 100% of my income. And then the goal is to then work till I'm whatever age and then retire and get a small, basically in policing, it was about 50% of my income. And it was like, what? That's the dream, to struggle my whole life on 100% and then stop working and get 50% of that. And like, that's it. And so, the long story short is if we stay in the known and in the comfort zone, that's what we have to look forward to, is to struggle making what we make now, and then to get, and that's if we're lucky enough to even have a pension at the end. And I'm certainly very aware that the vast majority of people don't even have that. So they're struggling making 100% with the idea or the eventuality of not making anything once they retire. And so to get outside of that, you have to push back against all of those things that like that programming and everything that we've all been inundated with our entire lives through, well, it's in every place you look in society. It's in everything we watch on TV. It's in the schooling system. It's in all of our systems are set up to basically build good little factory workers. And the world has changed since then. And it's certainly not easy, but to truly make waves and to build a better life for yourself, you can't just stay in that, in my opinion. You have to push through that and push through that fear. Like you guys have both talked about, is make those moves and make it happen for yourself, because no one's going to come to you and hand you your dreams on a silver platter. It's just, unfortunately or not, it's just not, it's not going to happen, right? You have to take ownership of your own life and go out and make it happen. And it's and I'm right in the middle of it, so I'm certainly not up here on any sort of a high horse, like saying like this is what you need to do, because I'm figuring it out as I go, absolutely. But it feels really good to make those moves, and to know that you're pushing through and you're working on transcending the system that you've been in. And just one more thing is, basically things have to get uncomfortable for us to want to change. And it's one of the hardest things is to change. We are set up and we are programmed and wired through evolution to stay in that comfort zone, because historically it meant survival. And so changing is no joke, for sure. But again, very worth it once you can see that goal and then push through and make moves towards that.
I love how you were talking about like the education system, and like how your like previous like programming goal was to retire, right? To retire and then get your pension. And I've had people be like, what do you like, are you going to retire? We were talking about retirement at work the other day, because I'm a teacher, so I also have a pension. But I was like, I don't ever want to retire. And one of the reasons why I don't ever want to retire is because my parents like were the cheapest people on the planet for like my entire life, saving everything so they could retire early, so that they could then sit at home and stare at each other and be miserable. And I was like, this is not what I want at all. So like my goal has never been to retire. My goal has been to like live and enjoy life like the whole time, and like live within my means, obviously, but like still go out and enjoy life now, so that I don't miss out on things with my daughter. So like if I have the money to go on a trip, like we're going on a trip. And if I don't have the money to take us on an airplane, then we're going on a trip, like a road trip, right? Because I just don't want to miss out on life because I'm saving for retirement or waiting for retirement. Like get out of your way and enjoy your life is like the message that I have for people, is like just but within your means, right? So when I can't afford to take my daughter and I on a trip on a plane, then we just go here and we ski and or we'll hike or we'll do whatever, so that we're actually enjoying the present moment. And I think sometimes getting out of our way is like just focusing on the present moment and not focusing on worrying about the future or being stressed and depressed about the past. And so if you were to focus on this present moment, and like Nick talked about before, what is it that I can do right now to take the first step? And that was originally, I'm going to buy this domain name. And so then he didn't just stop at the domain name and be like, oh, whatever. Then he went to the next step and was like, okay, my next logical step is this. And like, even though you don't know how you're going to get to your final goal, it's like the logical steps will just appear, right? And they'll appear and they'll appear. And if you don't take that logical step like me, it'll just keep throwing itself in your face for a number of years until you actually take that step. But I also liked what you talked about like what we're programmed to believe, and then what's actually true. And it just made me think about something that's not completely related to this, but it's also like, we don't sometimes realize the programming that we have. So right now, Coca-Cola is being sued because of marketing this product in orange juice as being like super healthy and all natural, but it actually has PFAs in it. And I was like, I used to buy that one as like a more natural option when I couldn't buy the one that I normally buy. And I was like, if they're putting PFAs in your products, like what else are they not telling you? And so that just like opens your eyes sometimes when you're like being told one thing over and over and over again, that this is healthy, you should do this. But then in reality, it's not true. Like, I'm really curious what's going to happen with that lawsuit of being like told this one thing and then it's completely untrue because they were putting toxic chemicals in this orange juice. It's like really disturbing to me because I read all of the like ingredients on everything that I eat, and so those sort of things hold me back sometimes because I'm like critical thinking and questioning, and when we're educated to think that orange juice is healthy, and then in reality real orange juice, true orange juice is healthy, but these products that we're being told are healthy are not necessarily healthy because of the added things that they're putting into it. And so that just was like a big eye opener for me, because that was one of the products that I was like, went to as a more natural option. But then too, when we're educated, like even when we look at like in Canada, we look at Canada's food guide, and there's a lot of things now that I was taught as a child that I question why they told you certain portions of each thing. And now I tell my daughter, I'm like, if you eat lots of fruit and vegetables and it grows naturally, that's kind of your best option. Because I don't know, but like I don't necessarily believe all of the things that they're teaching from the Canada food guide after all of the things that I've learned. Like even I wouldn't feed my daughter Cheerios years ago because there was something in them that was like a toxicity chemical and a carcinogen in the Cheerios that they put in the Cheerios, and I was like, no. So those are the TSP. Sort of things yes, TSP, that's what it was. And so those are things that you just like, when your eyes are opened, you can't look back. And I think sometimes we need to really, if we want to change things, everyone wants to make the world a better place, but if we don't actually take action, and one of those actions can be not to buy those products, right? And so that's what I did. I never bought Cheerios for my daughter because of the toxic chemicals that were in them. And now I will never buy that product. But Coca-Cola is such a giant company that you don't even know that they're the owners of the company. I didn't know that Coca-Cola owned that orange juice company. And so I just think it's very, very interesting how when your eyes are open to things, you can't look back, and you will then be forced to move forward because you're no longer stuck in this space. And one of my new goals, I just finished co-authoring a book called How Yoga Empowered My Life, but my next goal is to write a co-authored book called Rethinking What It Means to Be Educated. I know Nick's contributed a chapter in it. That's my next goal, is to really rethink the education that we've been taught, because some of the things that were taught in schools and the structure of school was made 300 years ago. And so we really have come so far, and yet in the structure of our learning, it hasn't changed in almost 300 years. And so I really, really think if we can start to teach people how the power of our minds and the power of our ability to actually become aware of our subconscious mind and become aware of our patterns, we can get out of our way and defy all odds. And so if we could change education, the education system, I just think we would open up the doors to so many people defying all odds and just really, truly empowering their lives.
Know the Coca-Cola story, so I have to look it up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just was filed. This lawsuit was just filed 3 days ago.
All right. So they're selling juice. What's in the juice then?
PFAs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to look up the story and just I think that will happen in life. I think it's very, very important when you create your product to be honest with the people, because if you put something that is not there, you say your product is better because of this and that. If that's not true, then you get in trouble. So that's why Coca-Cola gonna get in trouble. So, so I like Nick, what you said. That our fears is something, it comes back to our childhood attachment, how we were raised, and in our society as well. I think that is really true. And also, you mentioned that no one can hand over your dreams, everything in a silver platter. We are meant to work for our dreams. I always say to people that people say, if you are a Christian, God is going to do a miracle. God doesn't do a miracle if you don't do the work. So you have to create something for him to be able to work on that miracle and give you that miracle for that whatever you're working on to work. So that's what I believe. But when I used to go to church, I used to be like, when the preachers are preaching, they used to make me believe that you just pray and then God is just going to make it all happen, until I actually realize they're lying. That's not the case. You have to take action and you have to do the work. Even when in relationships, business-wise, you have to, in order for you to overcome the odds, you have to know that life is going to actually throw you with some curveballs. And when that happens, if you don't expect it, what would you do? How will you deal with that difficult situation? And for you to actually come on the other side. Some people, when they're presented with problems, they are like, I'm not gonna move forward because this is not for me. We have, in order for us to grow, in order for us to become stronger and to be more resilient, we have to learn to actually rely on our inner strength. Inner strength, it means where there is fear. I know that my inner strength, I have the abilities to actually overcome and find hope in the face of adversity. So it means that I'm going to fight all the odds, regardless of what is going on in my life. And when it comes to business, you find clients that there's this business of I'm in the group, a millionaire group, and someone shared an article about people like the key workers that have to sue the government. It has to pay them compensation. So I was like, it doesn't make sense to me that I'm against the business of entitlement, that people feel that they're entitled for something. So I said to him, if, okay, people are left with the long-term COVID, and how many people in this world who are left with the long-term COVID? So I was like, does it mean everybody's going to go around now suing everybody? So I said, if the key workers have contracted the long-term COVID and they are not able to work, so they cannot be discriminated, and the companies, whatever they work for, they have to maybe give them a settlement or find a work that they can do. If they're being discriminated, it cannot be like suing the government for a long-term COVID. So I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. So the guy was like, you don't understand. I was like, I do understand. The COVID hit the world. So what they're doing is everybody has to sue everybody. So what about the people that are not key workers? I was like, we were bound to catch COVID. But if things have not gone, like if the teachers or the nurses, they have left with the long term, suing somebody, to me, does not make sense. I'm not sure whether the mindset that I have, I don't know whether I'm wrong. I was like, to me, it doesn't make sense. If they're discriminated, you can go for discrimination, but suing somebody, sometimes, God works in a mysterious ways. So I was like, what if you have a long-term COVID and you're focusing on what you have instead of focusing on the healing part? Or maybe focusing on what the COVID, I was at work and then things went wrong. I've seen people getting healed. So I was like, why not focusing on the odds of getting healed? Healing, maybe if things are not working the way you want, or maybe let's say if it was a vaccine, then you have a case. So I was like, it doesn't make sense that everybody has COVID and then we're going to go around and suing everybody. And I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. Even those who are not key workers, where do they stand? They're all going to say, if the key workers are suing, let's sue everybody then. So I'm against the words of entitlement. As a business person, I know that there are people that they'll come and register within the company and you help them out. And instead of focusing when things don't go their way, it's like, if you don't do the work, I am going to sue you. I'm like, no, you are not going to sue me. I'm going to give you your money. You're going to go. So I'm like, no, you're not going to sue me. If you don't like how I work, I refund you your money and I say goodbye. So that's how it works. So overcoming and defiling the odds, like Amanda, at the beginning, you spoke about the mindset. In life, there's a thing that what you put in life is what you get. When you put good things in life and the energy, God works in so much ways, in so many ways. Even when you read the scriptures, the people that got healed, the people that got miracles, is the people who had the mindset of never give up. They always have hope, regardless of the odds, thinking that the odds are against me. They're like, no, I have hope, I have faith. And they will still search, they will still climb the mountain. If the business is not going well, or if the relationship is not going well, me, I don't do the talking. I stopped, I think 4 or 5 years ago. Before, I used to, like, if things are not going well, I would talk to my spouse and tell him how unhappy I am and how things should move forward. Now what I do, I take the Bible because the Bible is my weapon. When things are not going well, I don't do the talking. I do the talking after. I take the Bible is my weapon. I read the scriptures. I fast for 3 days. I speak to God. God created the earth. The earth is God. I have to say the problem, how it is. And that moment, like it will go on for 7 days without me talking. In that moment, you see the situation turning around. Or even in the business, if things are not working, if you see me talking, it means it's finished. It is done. I've overcome those odds. But before, I'll be like complaining and do this. But now I know if things are not going well, God created the earth, so is God. I go and pick the sand, and I'm like, earth, help me. I have to speak to the universe the way things are happening. I have to explain my situation. And I'm like, God created you to look after me on earth. I'm having problems right now, and things are not going well, and I have to state the problems. I have to speak to the earth, how God created this earth, and how the promises were made, and how things, if I'm living in this sorrow, what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna be unhappy. But the Bible says God created me to be happy and live a happy life. And it just see the things that just turn around. So you have to learn to, as a person, you have to learn to use your beliefs to take you to where you need to go. And there are going to be people that are going to step in and tell you that you're not enough, and tell you that your dream doesn't make sense. It doesn't not mean they're right. You have to keep going and just find that coach, that somebody that believes in you, and just go for what you desire in life and just go for it. That's how I do for my life. It works. If I go and do something, somebody tells me no, I know that their no, it does not define my destiny. So I need to keep going and until I find that yes. And with a company like Nikki's company, I'm excited to see how is it gonna go. And I'm excited, like Amanda, she's taken this course. I'm excited what's going to come out of it. So it's really exciting for me.
Yeah, I can tell you how it's going to go, and it's going to go amazingly, and it's going to blow minds and change the world. And it's because I truly believe in, I guess, myself and what I'm doing, and that power of belief is just so powerful. And it's something that you just, I think we underestimate ourselves is what I'm trying to get at. And while you were talking, I was thinking of Dr. Joe Dispenza. And so his story was, so he was in a bike race of some sort, and he was riding his bicycle and got hit by a car. And he was a chiropractor, and he shattered his spine. And so he was laying in a hospital bed with all the doctors, and everyone told him he had no chance to ever walk again. And so with his chiropractor background, he laid in his hospital bed and just decided to defy those odds. And he was going to rebuild his own spine in his mind. So that's what he did for, I can't remember the exact length of time, but it was weeks, where he would just lay there and just picture his spine rebuilding from the inside. And if he would get like distracted with a thought, he would start all over. And it would take him, at first it would take him quite a long time to do the whole process. And then as time went on and he was able to focus and not have distractions come in, he was able to do it a lot quicker. And it was just a crazy time period, like 6 weeks or something. He walked out of the hospital after healing his own spine with his thoughts alone. And it's like, that's completely possible for all of us. We can do like what you would call a miracle. That is all 100% within our own capacity. We just don't do it. We think we can't. We're told from external that we're not able to do whatever it is. And it's just wrong. Like, if we truly believe, we can literally move mountains. And it's frustrating in a way that we've been taught and told that we can't do that, because we are incredibly powerful beings. And yeah, I'm reminded of, the placebo effect, right? It's like, we hear about the placebo all the time in science, and it's like, what is the placebo effect? It's your mind. It's mind over matter, right? If you believe that you're going to heal yourself, or you believe whatever it is, treatment, drug, whatever, if you believe it's going to, it does. And it's like, what's the lesson there? That belief, that's it. Like, we don't need all this external, validation, or like a lot of these drugs and different things. It's like, we can just bypass all of that, and we have the capability to do amazing things. And yeah, I guess my message is just to remember that. And if you didn't already know that, then it's true. You just believe in yourself and make positive steps, and good things will happen.
I really think about, if we're trying to defy odds, then what is it in your life where you have already maybe defied an odd? And so, or who in your life has actually gone and defied an odd? And look towards those people and surround yourself with those people, because those are the people that are going to help you get to the next step, the next level. And really, it's so much of your life is who you surround yourself with. So if you want to achieve big things, then you need to surround yourself with other people who are achieving big things, because so much of your influence is who you surround yourself with. And they even say that for kids. If you want your kid to succeed in life, you really need to look at who their friends are, because that's going to be the biggest indicator of what road they go down in school. And because I've done a whole bunch of research on kids and teens and what happens with at-risk youth. And at-risk youth, it's their friends. So even for us, if we take that to adults, look at who your friends are and who are you surrounding yourself with, because that's going to be the biggest indicator of how you can overcome these odds. And if who you're surrounding yourself with isn't super inspirational, then step out of your comfort zone and start surrounding yourself with some of those inspirational people. And it could even just be following inspirational people on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, because who you surround yourself with is going to help you defy your odds. And I 100% believe in that, because if you have no idea what your next step is, then they're going to be able to tell you, hey, when I did this, this was my next step. And they'll help push you in the direction of where you want to go.
So for encouragements, Nick, before we go, and tell your audience who you are and when they can find you, please.
Certainly. So I've mentioned it, but so I spent my entire adult life in policing, and just very recently, in the last year, I've resigned from that position that was really out of alignment for me for a long time. But it took me a long time to heed my lesson. But here I am, and I'm going all in on an apparel brand that's called Flow State Designs, and I'm based in Alberta in Canada, and all my products are manufactured in Canada, and specifically in Calgary, Alberta, and made with hemp and organic cotton, and they're cool as hell. It's something that I couldn't find in the market, so I am defying the odds and just building it myself. My website's on the bottom of the screen there by my name, and you can find me on all the social media channels when you search Flow State Designs. And as far as words of encouragement, I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about, and it's I'll just kind of recap, but it's just take that first step, get out of your own way. And I love what Amanda just said. Yeah, surrounding yourself with people that inspire you and build you up. Those are all amazing ways to get going on that journey to your highest self. And for me, that's what I'm trying to do in my day-to-day, is just make moves that bring me closer to the person that I know I can be in the world. That business person, that father, that husband, that friend, all of those things is, those happen when I get out of my own way and start making moves. So thank you.
My name is Amanda Cottrell. I forgot to put my website on this morning, but it's artmindfulnessandcreativity.com, and I'm on all the social media for that as well. And my encouraging word for the day is really just like, what's your first step? Just like Nick said it before, his first step was buying that domain name. So what is your first step to defy your odds, and what is it that you want to achieve, and what big goal is worth actually taking those steps and pushing away those old patterns so that you can just keep striving even when it gets hard.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amanda and Nick. We are here at Nkosi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. So for those who don't know, my name is Nomsa Clara Mnde. I am your love harmonist. Love is what I harmonize. So if you are looking for love, and also if you are looking to find your own voice and lead from within at Nkosi Talk Shows, please get in touch with our coaches at Nkosi Talk Shows. You can get in touch through our social media, or you can go to my website and get in touch there. I'll connect you with whoever coach you want to be connected to. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless.